Hey everybody, it's Reb here again with the NBA 2K podcast where I cover everything NBA 2K. And on this episode, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna talk about a lot of Reddit posts people have been writing about in the NBA 2K subreddit. I do have some locker codes to mention later on. And we'll talk about the cover design contest for 2K25 as well. So let's start here with Thirst McBuckets posted on our sub, and he said, "Stop going into the wreck with a 25 pass accuracy. Thinking you're going to launch all sorts of accurate tosses is crazy. You get terrible catch and shoot animations when you receive a shitty pass. The pass in itself is so slow, giving your matchup time to position themselves." So, the truth is, I don't think there's that many people going into the wreck with a 25 pass accuracy. If I'm going to guess, I would say most people have over a 70 pass accuracy in general. All my builds, I think, have over 77. I think my high flyer build has less than that a little bit, but I have a couple builds with over 86 pass accuracy. So I think the bigger concern here that Thirst McBuckets has is that there's bad passes being made, and you could have a 99 pass accuracy, and you're still going to make a bad pass if you don't know how to make a good pass. So that's the truth of it, is there's actually not that many people with 25 pass accuracy, if any. I mean, if you have a build that has 25 pass accuracy, please send it in. Put it in the comments somewhere. I want to have a look. But it's hard to consistently make good passes if you've never learned a good habit of making good passes, or if you don't try to make good passes and you're just throwing the ball out there and you're not careful with potential lane steals, or the ball getting tipped, or you're making a pass just to make a pass because you're freaking out. There's a lot of reasons why the ball will not reach its intended target. And having a low pass accuracy is honestly, it's kind of a cop-out. So the point guard that I use the most, the 6'4" point guard, has a 77 pass accuracy. But I average around 7 assists per game in the rec, solo rec mainly, and over 25 points a game. So the 7 assists could be more, could be less, depending on my teammates if they're making their shots. I'm gonna get people in good positions to make shots or to get to the basket. But it's 77 is not that high. And sometimes you have to know your rating. You do have to understand that there are some passes that are going to be slower and whatnot. That's true. You can't just throw, full court outlets every time with the 77 or less than that. But if you're smart with the ball, right, you're going to make the best pass you can, and you're going to create opportunities. Even if you have like a 60 pass accuracy, a 70 pass accuracy, if you're playing Pro-Am, if you're playing a more competitive mode, you can have, a different conversation about pass accuracy. At that point, I feel like everybody should at least have a 77 plus if you're in a full 5 stack. If you're just playing rec, it's more about being smart with the ball and actually knowing when to pass and when not to pass and who to pass to. Rather than, you have a really low pass accuracy, therefore your passes are bad. I don't buy it. So moving on, the Hopeless 112 says, "Should I quit playing 2K? This is a different account, but I rented about 4 to 5 months ago and got so heated I haven't played 2K since, but today made me angry because I was playing rec and they were not passing me the ball when I was wide open. It's a frustrating thing, and it's just the stupidity of people in this game is outrageous, and I'm about done with this game. Too many people selfish and only want to get the ball and play no defense. God, I hate what this community has become. So it is true that there are some people that they're just kind of there in the game. They're just, I don't know if they're half asleep. I don't know if maybe they're too young or too old or they're inebriated or whatever the reason may be. There are times where you have people on your team that make decisions that you cannot comprehend. That is true, and there are those times. However, that is not the majority. And at the same time, it's your responsibility if you're playing by yourself. When you go into the rec or a park or match, whatever, to look at the teammates that you have before you go into the game. I know that sometimes 2K locks you into a match, especially in rec. You go through the doors and it just locks you in and you go into a game with people you don't want to play with. But that's also not a constant thing that happens every time. So walk through the doors, look at your teammates, look at their plates, look at their builds, look at their levels, and look at their rep rank in corresponding to their level and their plate color. So add all that up and then ask yourself if these are good teammates to play with. If you do that, if you're going to do that, I promise you, you're not going to have as many frustrating games. There will still be frustrating games. That's not what I'm saying, that you're not going to have any more ever. But there will be a lot fewer. I have 5 builds this year, okay? I've only put VC into the first 2 builds. I've only bought VC for the first 2 builds. That was in September. I've made 3 other builds just by playing rec. So I play a lot of rec, Pro-Am, Park a little bit, not much. But in all my time, in all the builds that I have, centers, point guards, small forward, the biggest thing you can do for yourself, if you consider yourself a decent player, the biggest thing to maximize fun games where you're not as frustrated is to look at the teammates you're playing with. If you have like 2 or 3 high flyers on your team and you have a 2-way mid-range threat or back out, those are not good teammates. A good teammate collection, a good teammate stack to have in your team. Okay, 1 high flyer, you can tolerate it. 1 2-way mid-range threat, okay. A high flyer and a mid-range threat at the same time, that's pushing it. I feel like that's gonna not be too much fun. But that's just an example. You have to know which builds are good, and you also have to look at your build and your position and keep that in mind when you're selecting your teammates. So if I'm on my 6'4" point guard, I'm going to want a good big that can set screens, knows how to roll. If you can shoot, great. So you can pop for a shot, but if not, that's fine. Just roll to the basket. I need shooters. I need floor space slashers. That's fine for me if I'm the point guard. If I'm playing on my interior center, I'm going to want a point guard that knows how to shoot, how to create off of screens, knows when to dish it out when he needs to, when he should. So I look for builds that, complement whatever build I'm using in the game. And I promise that's going to help anybody that has issues finding good teammates. Just look at the plates, look at the colors, look at the levels. Can you tolerate the teammates that you have? If yes, go on. Try your best. If not, you back out and you keep doing that until you find teammates that you're comfortable with. Don't be scared to do that. Okay, let's do one more here before I talk about the locker codes. I am Slud R says PSA from a point guard. If someone is cooking and it's a close game, let them cook until they miss or give the ball up. These past few days playing, I've been encountering something bewildering. People getting mad they're not getting the ball when the game is close and someone on the team is on fire or killing their matchup. I just had someone throw a game with us up 5 around the third quarter because the small forward was getting way more shot attempts and he was more, in quotation, open, even though the small forward was straight up on fire. He left his men the rest of the game and just stood still near half court, and they proceeded to win by about 15. If it's a blowout win or a comfortable lead, all right, sure, get some buckets. I don't have an issue with that. But every game is not going to be like that, where you're going to get over 10 shots a game, even as a point guard or a shooting guard. If I notice someone is clearly better or cooking their matchup, I'm going to give them the ball. People need to worry less about stats and more about winning games. It's crazy how many people care about their stats more than winning. So, this is, I think, an issue or a situation that I think everybody's gone through at least once or twice playing 2K. Look, I play to win. Okay, I've said it before. If I need to score 30, 40 points, if that means what I need to do for us to win the game, I'm going to say, hey, play defense, give me the ball. I'll get on the mic and say that if I feel that's the right thing that we need to do for us to win the game. If there's somebody that needs to get going to win us the game, I'll try to get them, best shots possible, best opportunities to get the ball in the basket. I understand that even though I average 25, 30 a game, that I'm not going to get 25 or 30 every single game or even every 2 games or 3 games, whatever. There's some games I have 15 points and 6, 7 assists, and that's what it took to win because somebody else on the team had 30 something, and that's just what it took. So each game is different. That's a fact. There are people out there, and I've seen this, and I've been also to blame with this, where believe that just because you can, that you should take over a game, every game. And this is beginner mentality. This is either beginner mentality or ego, having a big ego. Look, especially as a point guard, it's your responsibility to know who to get going, but to also make sure that your team stays involved, right? You don't want somebody standing at half court because they're upset they didn't get the ball more often. If you can, try to get people involved when it makes sense, pass them. Maybe if you have an interior center, he's going to want to get in the paint more often than not. Get him some oops or some baskets. If you have somebody in the corner that maybe has been open a few times, but you're hitting this other person that's hitting shots, hey, just give him one. If he misses, then you can keep going to the guy that's hitting shots. And this is a complicated thing to do because not everybody is going to give you room to dictate the game like this. There's some games, and I've posted this on my YouTube channel, where the randoms are great and they let you control the game and dictate if you're going to shoot, if you're going to use a screen, if you're going to pass, if you're going to whatever it is. There's randoms that they want to win the game, so they're going to let you do whatever you think you should do as a point guard. Now, there are other games where it's complicated, and it's happened, I think, a couple of nights ago. Somebody he would not shut up on the mic about, how I was ass and he was the good one, and don't give him the ball, guys. And this guy was on the mic constantly talking, and he ended the game, I think, like 4 for 16 or something. And I didn't miss a shot that game. But because maybe I did a move or something that he did not like, he felt that what he should have done is got on the mic and started talking, even though we're all on the same team trying to win a game. If I lose, he's going to lose as well. It's a weird thing that happens in games where people get on the mic to shit talk each other on the same team. But no, I agree. If somebody's cooking, if somebody is playing really well, it's a close game, it's your job to facilitate as much as you can for that person. If you make the decision that that's the winning factor, right? this person is clearly, this is if you, the winning factor. If you clearly can tell what it is, it's your job for the rest of the game to facilitate that. And if that means playing defense, if that means setting screens, if that means not just passing them the ball, but passing the ball in a situation that complements that person. But like you don't want to just if there's a shot creator in a corner, you don't want to just give the ball to a shot creator with 2 seconds left in the corner and expect them to shot create with a nuke in the corner. If somebody's a slasher and you see him cutting to the paint, you want to give them the ball at that point, not when they're standing at the hash or whatever the case may be. Facilitate your best player, especially if it's a close game and especially if they're playing well against their matchup. That is always a recipe for success. And in terms of locker codes, and I am going to post these in the description of the pod here, there are 2 of them that I can tell. There's one that is not expired yet. MyTeam -99-OVR-playoffs-pack. Okay, that's going to give you a 99 overall playoffs plus pack. And the one that just came out most recent is the Bill Walton code. Of course, Bill Walton passed away. It's a 99 Bill Walton MyTeam -DM-Bill -Walton -32. So those are your locker codes for this week for now. If you missed that, make sure to check the description. They will be posted there for you. And I think we'll talk about one more thing, and that's the cover design contest. So I am publishing this pod on Thursday the 30th, and the entry deadline is on the 7th. So that's next Friday. And if you still don't know what the NBA 2K to 2K25 cover design contest is, there's going to be a link for that in the description. And basically, if you go to the NBA 2K subreddit, there's a pinned post called NBA 2K's 2K25 cover design contest, and that's where anybody and everybody can participate by showing us your best 2K25 cover design. And then we'll have a voting by the community, and the grand prize winner gets a copy of NBA 2K25 supplied by 2K themselves. And all winners will receive a space to promote relevant design work as well. It's a great opportunity. I've said it before. There's been people that have signed up for this that have gone to work with 2K. Like they're hired by 2K to do artwork now. That's what I'm trying to say. This is good exposure, even if you don't win. If you have any sort of talent, or maybe you just want to practice, you want to see how well you can do. Do your best. Give it a try. There's going to be a link for that in the description. And I think that's about it for this pod. Almost 20 minutes, and I think we got a lot of cool conversations done. And yeah, anything that you might want to check out from what was talked about today, you can go into the description. I'll post links to everything that you might want to check out. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.